It's Boxing Day in Jamdown, a continuation of the festivities for families in our island home. We're all suffering from a hangover of sorts, a combination of too much food and drink and the exhaustion from all the cooking and the cleaning. Happily, most of us have the next couple of days to recoup. While you're getting some much needed R&R, we'll bring you some more interesting facts on Jamaica Magazine. Take the history behind Boxing Day, for example. Do you know where it originated? We'll tell you that and more. I'm Theodore Henry, inviting you to spend the next half hour with us. There is no vaccine for the chikungunya virus. If you've been infected, take paracetamol such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol to reduce pain and fever. Sleep under mosquito netting and get plenty of rest. Take showers or sponge baths in room temperature water to lower fever, especially in children, and drink lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. If your symptoms worsen, go and see a doctor. Do not take aspirin as this could cause bleeding, and never use rubbing alcohol. To learn more, call 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683. So today's Boxing Day, but what's the story behind the day? I'm thinking it could have something to do with the sport of boxing. No? Well, I'm out of ideas, so let's go to the archives to get the facts.
Boxing Day, also called St. Stephen's Day, originated in 17th century England.
It really originated in the custom of gift giving in England. Later on, it was extended to the British Commonwealth.
There are about 4 explanations as to why this custom was celebrated.
First of all, because working class people used to work on Christmas Day, the custom was for their employers to box up leftovers that they had on Christmas Day, and then on the day after Christmas to distribute it to the workers. Also, there was a custom where even people in church in 17th century England used to collect. They had a box and they would collect offerings and goods to distribute at the end of the year. Also, there was a custom where priests on ships would collect, they would pray for a safe journey and then collect stuff. When the journey was concluded, they would then, distribute this as sort of Thanksgiving. And then also working class people in England used to literally have something like an earthenware box. Later on, it was a wooden box, and they would save and then break this box open at Christmas time and distribute the content so that people could enjoy their festivities.
So that means it was the container that gave name to the custom. And since Jamaica was a British colony, we adopted the practice. Later on, around the 19th century, Boxing Day became a public holiday. And of course, it was transferred to Jamaica in the post-colonial period. The day is also celebrated in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and Germany, just to name a few. So, how do we Jamaicans really celebrate Boxing Day?
From what I observe, Boxing Day is really a public holiday, and most Jamaicans would go to the beach, they visit their families, and so on. I think we have departed from the traditional meaning and practice of Boxing Day. But of course, there are some people who still do charitable work, not only on Boxing Day, but also on Christmas Day. In any event, I can't imagine people in Jamaica liking that custom where quote-unquote better off people would put leftovers in boxes and distribute on the day after Christmas, They'd say, we're going with that kind of thing.
Now, Boxing Day is not entirely universal. There is also something called Kwanzaa, That's a celebration which starts on December 26 and ends on January 1.
There are people who don't buy that Christmas story as it has come down to us through the church. And so Kwanzaa is an African-inspired alternative. And of course we know that the Festival of the Lights or the Feast of the Lights or Hanukkah is celebrated by Jewish people.
Whatever their origins or inspirations, persons throughout the Caribbean and the rest of the world have their own unique celebrations during the Christmas period. What's yours? Driving in holiday traffic or really any other time of the year demands your constant attention and vigilance to make sure you get from point A to B safely. It's far easier to do that if you follow a few simple rules. Stay alert. Do not be distracted by your cell phone, any other gadget or passenger while driving. When traveling at night, park in a well-lit area and always keep your car doors locked, even when at a stoplight. Make sure you have enough fuel in case there's an emergency and you need to divert from your usual route. In the event that you feel threatened while driving, stay calm and do not react aggressively. Instead, drive to a busy, safe place or the nearest police station. Follow these few tips and navigate the busy streets safely this holiday season and indeed at all times.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
2 dozen ackee
and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
3 breadfruit
2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
4 pound of yam
3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 ripe pear, 5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
7 green bananas,
6 ripe pear, 5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the eighth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 slices of pudding, 7 green bananas, 6 ripe pear, 5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the ninth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 fried sprats, 8 slices of pudding, 7 green bananas, 6 ripe pear, 5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 fruit cake, 9 fried sprats, 8 slices of pudding,
7 green bananas,
6 ripe pear, 5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
11 jugs of sorrel,
10 fruit cake
9 fried sprat,
8 slice of pudding
7 green banana,
6 ripe pear,
5 fried dumpling, 4 pound of yam, 3 breadfruit, 2 dozen ackee and some chicken back in a Dutch pot. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 slices of ham, 11 jugs of sorrel, 10
This holiday season has been extremely busy, especially on the roads, and motorists often need some extra skills to safely navigate the traffic environment. But wouldn't life be so much easier if we all abide by the rules of the road? Here are some timely road safety reminders.
Road fatalities occur way too often, and more often than not, they happen because of a failure to obey the rules of the road.
Because of incorrect driving, road infringement, persons failing to apply the road code, approximately 57% of all road accidents and fatalities are caused by this incorrect driving.
Speeding, reckless overtaking, drinking and driving, and the failure to obey traffic lights and stop signs are some of the most common road infractions that lead to collisions. But the law is clear. From established speed limits to guidelines on how to overtake, the regulations are spelled out. The speed limit for road users depends on whether the roads are in built-up areas near schools or on highways. For school zones, it's 30 kilometers per hour, 50 kilometers in built-up areas, 70 kilometers per hour on main roads, 80 kilometers on minor highways, and 110 kilometers on Highway 2000. Drinking and driving do not go together. The presence of alcohol in a driver's system is likely to affect his or her ability to make sensible decisions or even respond quickly and appropriately. So if you drive, avoid drinking altogether. And as it regards overtaking, the rules are also clear. Overtake only if the unbroken white line is on your side of the road, and you should only overtake on the right side. In addition to following those basic rules, before you overtake, ask yourself these questions.
Does it make sense? Is it safe? And is it legal? Because you see, a lot of times, even though the overtake may be legal, it doesn't make any sense. It's not necessary. So overtaking is one of the major causes of accidents. It exposes one to head-on collisions. It exposes one to crashes. So we really need to explore all the areas. Is it safe? Does it make sense? And is it legal?
Drivers of motor vehicles and motorcycles need to be licensed. Driver's licenses are issued only after the applicants are tested and proven competent to handle a vehicle. The process begins with an application.
You take 3 photographs signed by just of the peace, a learner's license, examination fee receipt, and an application form filled out by yourself and just of the peace. Take it to the depot, arrange for appointment, and on an appointment date, you are required to do a written test and a yard test. If you are successful with the yard test, you are taken on the road to do a driving test.
People who drive without a valid license are guilty of an offense and risk prosecution by the police. It's also imperative for drivers to ensure their vehicles are roadworthy. Periodic inspections are done to test their suitability for the road.
We check for electrical components that they're all working, like headlights, brake lights, park lights, indicators. Mechanically, your front end must be sound, brakes must be in proper working condition. That's park brake and service brake. Tires are in good working order, not showing any form of defects. And the body condition must be fairly good condition.
The inspection process differs depending on the type of vehicle and its intended purpose. Trucks, for example, have to be measured and also weighed in all dimensions to ensure they operate within the confines of the law. Pedestrians, drivers, and motorcyclists should all follow these general rules in order to minimize chaos while on our roadways. The authorities have been vigilant, and there are penalties for breaches. The police and the Island Traffic Authority do random inspections island-wide to identify those who fail to keep their vehicles roadworthy.
What emerges as areas of defects are defective steering, defective brake, defective exhaust system, defective tires. Those four in particular seem to be very prominent. Motorists have to come to grips with the fact that they have a responsibility to ensure the fitness of their vehicles, to ensure the mechanical soundness of their vehicles that are used to ply the roadways. And this is entrenched in law.
The law also spells out the consequences for those who disobey the rules of the road. Offenders could go to prison, pay huge fines, or lose points of their licenses.
When you use the road, you need to be aware of how your action affects others.
I go around the corner, only to see a man stopping on the big road, but some people are crossing on a blind corner.
When motorists have to stop on the green light to allow people to cross, it creates problems.
People just can't walk out on the road, so man. From a corner, from behind vehicle, they need to be more careful, man.
We have overhead bridges, pedestrian crossings, and crosswalks. Some of them even have signals to tell you when to cross.
People, walk on the sidewalk. If there is none, walk on the right side. And please, if you can't find a pedestrian crossing, make sure the road clear before you cross.
Here are some other tips to keep in mind. Drivers, don't use your cell phones or other electronic devices while driving. If you have to take a call, use a hands-free device or pull off the road safely. Pedestrians always walk towards oncoming vehicles and stay alert at all times and avoid unsafe conditions.
The Ebola virus is transmitted through direct contact with an infected person's blood or other bodily fluids like saliva, urine, stool, and semen. Symptoms of Ebola include sudden fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, and rash, and in some cases both internal and external bleeding, leading to death. Protect yourself. Avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Avoid contact with infected persons. Don't touch the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Wash hands frequently with soap and water and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. To know more, call 1-888-663-5683.
As the new year approaches, we as adults need to place more emphasis on instilling positive values in our children to encourage good attitudes. Simple childhood obligations like cleaning one's school shoes in the evenings and not on the morning of school can teach children the art of preparation while promoting responsibility. Have you ever had to scold your child for taking something without asking? That teaches them not to steal. How about the lessons they learn from waking up early and being on time for school? They will certainly need to be punctual for the world of work. And if children are encouraged to play sports, they learn the value of teamwork, how to follow instructions, and accept defeat or victory with grace. Let's all commit to instilling positive values in our children as we seek to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Up next, we feature a program involving three main stakeholders to improve the literacy and numeracy skills of participants.
Instead, I'm a little woman, walk up and down. I can't just know, say, yeah, wake up in the morning, I gone at school, gone do something.
We learned from some basic English and maths.
It's a wonderful experience dealing with the student from the inner city.
Positive reviews from participants in a program to boost literacy, numeracy, and vocational skills. It's part of efforts to achieve strategic priority number 4 on government's agenda, human capital development, building the capacity of individuals so they can effectively contribute to the nation's growth. The Ministry of National Security through the Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP has been working with non-government organization Operation Friendship as well as the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning JFLL to offer remedial training to persons in vulnerable communities. CSJP, which targets unattached youth in volatile communities, recruits the youngsters. Operation Friendship facilitates the training at its institution, and JFLL provides the math and English teachers.
To deliver a 10-month pre-vocational program, which was aimed at 1, improving literacy levels, as well as their social skills with minimal exposure to general construction.
Using aspects of the constant practicing teaching method, classwork, assignments, tests and projects, students were prepared for the Hard Trust entrance exam. If successful, they would move on to CSJP's vocational program, which provides advanced skills training at Hard Trust NTA.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about synonyms. Have you ever heard the word synonyms before?
Kind and generous. Vacant, empty. Messy and dirty.
You had to work from the basic letter sounds and stuff onto the other areas of literacy. It was my first time teaching adults, so the transition was a bit difficult, but I mean, I got into it. The guys made me feel comfortable, and so it has been good.
Class, what are we going to do today?
Change decimal to percentage.
What are we going to do?
Change decimal to percentage.
It's fun when teacher teach about percentage and them thing, and teach you now like a tricky way to do it.
Students are interested in learning, right, and they try their best to maintain discipline and stuff like that.
And Mr. White is a living testament to what can be achieved if one is disciplined. Having been a participant in the CSJP, he completed his studies in primary education at the Jamaica University and is now empowering other young people. Administrators of the CSJP's pre-vocational training program worked tirelessly to educate and train the youngsters as they acted on strategic priority number 4 on government's list.
Many of them felt very stigmatized, and many of them had a low self-esteem, which resulted from the fact that they were unable to read at levels that they should.
But after intense work, a shocking revelation. 22 of the 25 students who took the Hard Trust entrance exams were successful, paving the way for them to move on to higher heights.
I feel overwhelmed. I say yes, I achieved what I come for. That was the aim, to pass the test. And I say yes, I did it.
I was school from 2005, and I doesn't take up a book at home. And this program made me take up book and show interest of doing some work.
I think the success can be attributed to the motivation, to the quality of the instructors that we had, to the fact that the youngsters had to do the work which was necessary. We were able to come up with a new design for the syllabus, which really sort of focused on what had to be done in order to get them through the exams.
We are going to our next level, construction, getting a skill.
But the participants already have a rudimentary understanding of general construction, which will give them an edge when they begin CSJP's vocational program, Advanced Skills Training at Hard Trust NTA.
It teach me like to hold a hammer the right way.
You don't hold the hammer down in the neck, you hold the hammer at the end and you swing your wrists.
Well, my mindset is to inform other young men outside, in and outside the community, just to show that we get off the road and can come down at Operation Friendship and get it further.
I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest.
To celebrate the achievement of the youngsters, a graduation ceremony was held at the offices of the JFLL. The results of a survey, the learner performance feedback, indicated that the program did much more than help participants pass the Hard Trust entrance exam.
87% indicated that their team building skills have improved. Excellent. 91%, want to listen to this, 91% indicated that their conflict management skills have improved.
I'm that star up in the sky, from that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it.
You can't really look at persons from the inner city and say they're not worth it or they can't make it. If you as a teacher just do what you have to do, teach them, love them, just talk to them about reality and encourage them.
Come to Operation Friendship. We are willing, we are able, we have the manpower, we have the space, and we have the motivation to help wherever it is possible.
And I think that many of them see it now as a launching pad for greater things to do with their future.
So CSJP, Operation Friendship, and JFLL have been working together to achieve government's strategic priority of human capital development, improving numeracy and literacy levels of unattached youth while developing their social and vocational skills, building their capacity to make them employable and marketable so they can contribute to national development.
I'm the world's greatest. I'm that little bit of hope when my back's against the road.
Have you ever one day stopped to realize that our home is a tropical island paradise? Oh, there are problems, but we can solve them. But we have no problem with snow and ice. I have never had to ride in a one-horse open sleigh, or watch Santa Claus and his reindeer fly away.
No roasting chestnuts on an open fire, or toast corn or breadfruit or turkey for Christmas dinner. Oh yes.
Down in Jamaica, there's hot sunny weather, and people are warm and friendly all the time. Now it's a Christmas season and the fun can't done, so have a joyful Merry Christmas in the sun.
Fur coat and mink don't mean a thing to me. Mistletoe, holly, ivy, or a pair of skis. I know about starring and the red poinsettia and John Canoe and chanting together. Oh yeah.
Down in Jamaica, there's hot sunny weather, and people are warm and friendly all the time. Now it's a Christmas season and the fun can't done, so have a joyful Merry Christmas in the sun.
So shine Jamaican sun this Christmas Day and show that Christ the King is here to stay.
This our country, our land of beauty, and they will lead us on our way.
Hey, there is sweet reggae music and carols everywhere, and session galore. Make sure you get your share. Let's enjoy Christmas, spread love and good cheer, but don't overdo it. Leave some for next year. Oh yeah.
Down in Jamaica, there's hot sunny weather, and people are warm and friendly all the time. Now it's a Christmas season and the fun can't done, so have a joyful Merry Christmas in the sun. We'll have a joyful Merry Christmas in the sun. Let's have a joyful Merry Christmas in the sun.
That's how we close the Boxing Day edition of Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for having joined us, but we need to hear from you, so please send your feedback on our social media platforms. You may also browse our website, www.jis.gov.jm, and watch this and other shows on our YouTube channel. I'm Theodore Henry, wishing for you and yours a happy and holy season.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.